Long ago, beyond the Blue Mountains, there was a peaceful kingdom called Silver Haven. The kingdom was famous for its white castles, colorful flower gardens, and kind people. Everyone loved their young prince, Adrian. He was 23 years old, handsome, brave, and intelligent. One day he would become king. But although he had everything a person could wish for, Prince Adrian often felt lonely. Every noble family wanted him to marry their daughters because he was a prince. Whenever he met them, they spoke about jewels, castles, and expensive clothes. No one asked how he truly felt. Adrian began to wonder if anyone would ever love him simply for being himself. One sunny spring morning, he dressed in ordinary clothes, left his royal carriage behind, and quietly walked into the nearby villages. He wanted to see how ordinary people lived. The fresh air made him smile. Children laughed as they chased butterflies across green fields. Farmers greeted each other warmly. Birds sang from tall trees. For the first time in many weeks, Adrian felt free. At the edge of a small village, he noticed a young woman trying to carry a large basket filled with apples. Suddenly the basket slipped from her hands. Bright red apples rolled across the road. Adrian quickly ran forward. "Let me help," he said. Together they collected every apple. The young woman smiled warmly. "Thank you." Most people walked past without stopping. Adrian returned the basket. "I couldn't leave you alone," the young woman laughed. "My name is Lily." "I'm Adrian," he replied, hiding his true identity. Lily owned a tiny fruit shop with her grandmother. Every morning they picked fresh fruit from their orchard before sunrise. They worked hard, but they were always cheerful. Adrian began visiting the village almost every day. Sometimes he helped carry baskets. Sometimes he repaired broken fences. Sometimes he simply sat beneath the old apple tree while Lily told funny stories about village life. She treated him like any other person. She never guessed that he was the prince. Adrian loved that. He found himself laughing more than ever before. One afternoon Lily asked, "If you could go anywhere in the world, where would you go?" Adrian thought for a moment before answering. "I think I'd stay right here." Lily smiled. "That's a very strange answer." Adrian laughed. "Maybe, but I like this place." As the weeks passed, their friendship slowly became something deeper. One evening they watched the sunset beside a quiet lake. The sky turned pink, blue, and purple. Lily quietly said, "Sometimes I wish life could stay like this forever." Adrian looked at her. "So do I." Before either of them could say anything more, several royal guards rode into the village. They stopped their horses in front of Adrian. Every villager became silent. The captain bowed deeply. "Your Highness, the king requests your return to the palace." Immediately, Lily stared at Adrian in complete shock. "Your Highness?" Adrian slowly nodded. "I'm sorry. I wanted you to know me before you knew my title." Lily stepped backward. "You're the prince?" "Yes." Tears filled Lily's eyes. "Why didn't you tell me?" "Because I was afraid." "Afraid of what?" Adrian answered honestly. "Afraid you would stop treating me like Adrian and only see a prince." Lily remained silent as the guards escorted Adrian away. That night she could not sleep. She remembered every conversation, every smile, every laugh they had shared. She realized none of those moments had been false. Still, she wondered whether someone like her truly belonged in a palace. Meanwhile, Prince Adrian returned to Silverhaven Castle. His father, King Henry, welcomed him with relief. "You disappeared without telling anyone." Adrian lowered his head. "I'm sorry, father." The king sighed. "There is another matter. Princess Isabella from the neighboring kingdom arrives next week. We expect you to consider marriage." Adrian answered quietly but firmly. "I cannot. The king looked surprised. Why? Adrian smiled gently. Because I've already given my heart to someone else. A few days later, the king secretly visited Lily's village. He wanted to see the young woman who had changed his son. He expected to find someone greedy or ambitious. Instead, he saw Lily helping an elderly neighbor repair a roof. Later, she shared fresh fruit with children who had no money. She never asked for anything in return. The king quietly smiled. Now I understand. Still, not everyone welcomed the idea. Lord Cedric, one of the kingdom's richest nobles, hoped his own daughter would marry Prince Adrian. When he learned about Lily, he became furious. A village girl can never become queen, he declared. He spread false rumors throughout the kingdom. Some people whispered that Lily only wanted the crown. Others claimed she had tricked the prince. Lily heard the rumors and became heartbroken. Perhaps everyone is right, she told her grandmother. Maybe I don't belong in his world. Her grandmother gently held her hand. A person's heart decides where they belong, not their title. The next day, Prince Adrian rode alone to the village. He found Lily sitting beneath the same apple tree where they had first laughed together. I'm sorry, he said softly. Because of me, people are saying terrible things about you. Lily looked down. Maybe they are right. Adrian shook his head immediately. No. When I met you, you didn't know I was a prince. You helped me, laughed with me, and cared for me simply because I was another person. That's the purest kind of love anyone could hope for. Lily looked into his eyes. But your people may never accept me. Adrian smiled. Then I'll help them see the truth. A week later, the king announced a great spring festival in the palace gardens. Citizens from every village were invited. During the celebration, Prince Adrian stood before thousands of people. Beside him stood Lily, wearing a simple light blue dress. She looked nervous. Adrian took her hand. Many of you know Lily only because of rumors, he said. But I know the woman she truly is. She is kind when no one is watching. She is honest when lying would be easier. She works hard every day without asking for praise. Those are the qualities our future queen should have. The crowd became quiet. Then an elderly farmer stepped forward. She once helped my family after a storm destroyed our orchard, he said. Another woman smiled. She cared for my sick mother without expecting payment. Soon many villagers began sharing their own stories about Lily's kindness. The whispers slowly disappeared. Even those who had doubted her lowered their heads in embarrassment. King Henry stepped forward. True greatness is measured by character, not by birth. Today I gladly welcome Lily into our royal family. Cheers filled the gardens. Lord Cedric quietly left the celebration, knowing he had lost. Later that evening, beneath thousands of glowing lanterns, Adrian led Lily to the palace rose garden. He took a small ring from his pocket. The first time we met, he said with a smile, I borrowed your basket. Today I'd like to ask for something much greater. Lily, will you marry me? Happy tears filled her eyes. Yes, she whispered. 1,000 times yes. Wedding became one of the happiest days in Silverhaven's history. Noble families stood beside farmers. Merchants celebrated with soldiers. Children filled the streets with flowers and music. Everyone smiled because they knew the prince had chosen love instead of pride. Years later, King Adrian and Queen Lily ruled with kindness and wisdom. They often visited the same little village where they had first met. They never forgot the old apple tree, the basket of apples, or the simple moment that changed both of their lives forever. Whenever young couples asked how they had found true love, Queen Lily always smiled and answered, "The greatest hearts do not look for crowns. They look for kindness. When kindness and love meet, even the smallest village can become the beginning of a fairy tale."